Craze prices in 2026 are getting crazy, and most travelers aren't paying attention. We're talking $300 seven-night cruises, luxury sailings up to 70% off, and balcony cabins for inside cabin prices. One deal is so extreme it sounds like a mistake. If you're planning a cruise in 2026, these deals could save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So why are prices dropping? New megaships are pushing older ships into deeper discounts. Oversupply in the Caribbean and Mediterranean is increasing competition, while inflation, repositioning cruises, and weaker off-season demand are forcing cruise lines to offer bigger promotions. We'll break these into three groups. Deals 1 through 5. Crazy cheap cruises. Deals 6 through 10. Bucket list luxury deals. Deals 11 through 15. Rare deals most cruisers miss. Let's start with the prices that sound almost impossible. Deal number 1, $299, Caribbean 7-night cruises. A 7-night Caribbean cruise for around $299. In 2026, some Royal Caribbean and Carnival sailings can drop that low, especially on older but well-maintained ships departing Florida, Texas, and sometimes Puerto Rico. The Caribbean is extremely competitive, and extra ship capacity plus slower off-season demand is pushing prices down. To find these fares, search for guaranteed cabin deals and set price alerts. But don't get too comfortable. $299 isn't even the craziest deal on this list. Deal number 2. $400 transatlantic cruises. Here's another one that barely sounds real. A transatlantic cruise for around $400. Cruise lines have to reposition ships between continents every year. Rather than sail with empty cabins, they slash prices to fill them. These cruises can cross the Atlantic with stops such as the Canary Islands or Azores, plus plenty of relaxing sea days. For the lowest fares, look around late April when demand drops. You're essentially crossing an entire ocean for roughly the price of a domestic flight. And this is only the beginning. Deal number 3. Alaska cruises from $349. Alaska has always been a bucket list destination. But in 2026, you may not need a bucket list budget. Some early season Alaska cruises are dropping to around $349. These shoulder season sailings usually depart in early May or late September, when prices are lower and crowds are thinner. You still get the glaciers, wildlife, and dramatic fjords, but without the peak season price tag. The catch: these fares can disappear quickly once travelers discover them. Search specifically for Alaska Cruise Deals 2026 and watch prices closely. At $349, an Alaska cruise becomes one of the cheapest ways to experience a destination that normally costs far more. Deal number 4. MSC 12-night Mediterranean cruises under $600. Now here's a Mediterranean deal that deserves serious attention. In 2026, some MSC 12-night Mediterranean cruises can fall below $600. Think about the destinations: Rome, Barcelona, Athens, and Marseille, places where a land-based trip can cost thousands. MSC is pushing aggressive pricing as it adds more ships in Europe and competes heavily for the Mediterranean market. And there's another way to save. Joining MSC's Voyagers Club can provide discounts, loyalty perks, and priority offers. It's a simple move that can make an already cheap fare even cheaper. But don't assume these prices will sit around forever. Once travelers start sharing the deal, the cabins can disappear fast. Deal number 5. $99 to $199 Bahamas weekend cruises. Now we get to a price that almost looks like a mistake. 3-day Bahamas cruises for just $99 to $199. These short weekend sailings, commonly offered by Carnival and Royal Caribbean, can become some of the most heavily discounted cruises available. Why cruise lines would rather sail with full ships, so when demand drops or cancellations leave empty cabins, prices can fall sharply. One strategy is watching for last-minute reductions, roughly 10 to 21 days before departure, when cruise lines may try to fill remaining cabins. But here's the warning. These fares can vanish almost as quickly as they appear, sometimes within hours, once travelers start sharing them online. And now we're moving into a completely different category. The next deals aren't just cheap. They're the ones where luxury starts looking surprisingly affordable. Deal number 6. Virgin Voyages 45% off plus Sailor Loot. If you're an adult traveler looking for something different, this deal deserves your attention. In 2026, Virgin Voyages is offering promotions with up to 45% off, plus Sailor Loot bonuses. Virgin is already known for modern ships, adults-only cruising, and unusual onboard experiences. But the real value comes from stacking the discount with perks such as drinks, specialty dining, and exclusive events. The best window to watch is wave season, January through March, when cruise lines typically launch some of their biggest promotions. These offers are limited, though. Set an alert or have a travel agent watching for you, because once the cabins are gone, the deal is gone. Deal number 7. Princess Cruises 50% off, plus drinks, plus Wi-Fi. Princess Cruises is another one worth watching in 2026. Some promotions offer up to 50% off along with beverage and Wi-Fi bundles. The key here is planning ahead. Booking roughly 6 to 9 months early can maximize your savings, especially for popular destinations like Alaska, the Mediterranean, and the Caribbean. One viewer reportedly used this type of promotion to save around $800, then put that money toward excursions and specialty dining. That's the real advantage of these deals. You're not just cutting the cruise fare, you can also reduce the cost of the extras that quietly inflate your final bill. Norwegian's Free at Sea stacking. Norwegian Cruise Line's Free at Sea program can become extremely valuable when promotions are stacked correctly. Depending on the offer, travelers may receive combinations of onboard credit drink packages, specialty dining, and Wi-Fi, either free or heavily discounted. The trick is knowing which promotions can be combined. A knowledgeable travel agent can sometimes uncover combinations that aren't obvious when booking on your own. Imagine a $1, $200 cruise fare suddenly carrying several valuable perks while your out-of-pocket cost drops dramatically. That's when a normal cruise starts feeling like a luxury deal. But remember, these promotions change, and the best combinations don't stay available forever. And the next deal? We're moving into territory where the discounts become almost unbelievable. Deal number 9. Regent and Silversea. Up to 70% off. If you've ever wanted to experience true luxury cruising, 2026 could be the year to look closely. Regent and Silversea are offering select sailings with discounts of up to 70%. These deals are rare because economic slowdowns and excess inventory can force luxury lines to reduce prices far more aggressively than usual. And you're still getting the luxury experience? All-inclusive service, gourmet dining, spacious suites, exclusive excursions, and premium service. The biggest savings often come from non-refundable fares, which can be dramatically cheaper than flexible rates, sometimes 40 to 70% lower. The catch is obvious once you commit. Flexibility is limited. But if your dates are fixed and you're comfortable with a non-refundable booking, this can turn a luxury cruise into a surprisingly affordable vacation. Deal number 10. Disney Cruise Line off-peak deal. For families and Disney fans, timing can make a huge difference. Disney Cruise Line offers some of its better opportunities during January, February, and September 2026, when demand is lower. You still get the Disney experience, themed dining, Broadway-style shows, character meet and greets, and full shipboard entertainment, without the peak summer pricing. One smart strategy is booking through a travel agent who may have access to promotional codes or additional perks. And when you're paying for an entire family, even a modest discount can mean hundreds of dollars saved. But don't wait too long. These offers can disappear once Disney releases limited promotional inventory. Deal number 11. Asia cruises under $500. Here's one most American travelers don't think about. 10 to 14 night Asia cruises for under $500. In 2026, lower embarkation costs and increased ship capacity in Asia can create surprisingly cheap fares. You could visit places like Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia without spending a fortune. For the best value, look closely at departures from Singapore, which often offers some of the cheapest fares and flexible itineraries. You get exotic ports, relaxing sea days, and a much longer cruise for less than many short vacations. For travelers willing to go farther, this could be one of the biggest bargains on the entire list. And the next deal takes us to another continent. Deal number 12, South America, repositioning cruises. $300 to $500. South America is hiding another serious bargain in 2026. Some repositioning cruises can cost just $300 to $500 for a week-long or longer sailing. These cruises move ships between destinations such as Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay. And the fares can be dramatically lower because cruise lines want to fill every cabin. You can save even more by pairing the cruise with inexpensive one-way flights into departure cities like Rio de Janeiro or Buenos Aires. Imagine sailing past South American coastlines and major city skylines for less than many typical weekend getaways. The trade-off? You need flexible dates and a willingness to travel farther for the departure. Deal number 13. The $1 a day cruise error fare. Now we reach the deal that sounds completely insane. A cruise for roughly $1 per day. These are rare repositioning error fares that may appear only once or twice a year. In 2026, they're back, and they've shocked even experienced cruisers. One subscriber reportedly booked a similar fare the previous year and crossed the Atlantic for almost nothing. But there's a problem. You don't get weeks to think about an error fare. These prices can disappear almost instantly. To find them, monitor cruise deal services such as Cruise Watch and Vacations to Go, which track sudden price drops and unusual fares. It's unpredictable, but if you catch one at the right moment, the savings can be ridiculous. And now comes a trick almost nobody talks about. Balcony cabin for an inside cabin price. Imagine paying an inside cabin rate and ending up with a balcony. During wave season, cruise lines may have unsold balcony cabins as departure gets closer. When inventory needs to move, passengers can sometimes receive upgrades for little or no additional cost. That means more space, private outdoor views, and a completely different cabin experience without paying the normal balcony premium. The key period to watch is January through March, when wave season promotions are active. Compare inside cabin and balcony pricing carefully, especially through travel agents and cruise deal websites, because sometimes the best upgrade isn't about paying more. It's about knowing when the cruise line has something it needs to fill. And the final deal is especially powerful if you're traveling with a family. Deal number 15. Kids sail free plus third and fourth guest free. If you're planning a family cruise in 2026, this could be one of the most valuable deals to watch. Royal Caribbean, MSC, and Norwegian offer select promotions where kids can sail free, or the third and fourth guests can cruise without paying the full standard fare. For families, that can completely change the math. Instead of paying full fare for every person, you could put that money toward a better cabin, excursions, specialty dining, or other experiences on board. The best opportunities often appear during shoulder seasons, especially early spring and late fall, when demand is lower and cruise lines are trying harder to fill cabins. And these promotions can sometimes stack with other incentives, such as onboard credit or beverage packages. But here's the warning. Don't assume the first free offer you see is automatically the cheapest option. Always compare the total price after taxes, fees, and included perks. Because a free third or fourth guest doesn't mean every part of the vacation is free. Finding these fares isn't just about luck. you need to watch the right places. Check Cruise Direct, Cruise Watch, Vacations to Go, Cruise Critic Deals, Facebook groups that track flash sales, and official cruise line newsletters. Prices and promotions can change quickly, so alerts matter. The moment you find a genuine bargain, you may need to act before someone else takes the cabin. Because that's the strange reality of cruise pricing in 2026. The best deal might be sitting there 1 minute and completely gone the next. So before you book your next cruise, don't just ask, "What ship should I take?" Ask, "Am I paying more than I need to?" If this video helped you find a better cruise deal, hit like. Subscribe to avoid cruise mistakes and turn on notifications. Because the smartest cruisers aren't always the ones who spend the most. They're the ones who know when not to.